Hi. Oh, I gotta turn it. You want to turn this out? Just turn it from the bottom. Here it is. It looks so smooth. Do it. Wow. Yeah, watch that. Somebody's got like a thing.
What is that?
Switch chairs out. It's like probably like a nail that's sticking out.
Oh yeah, switch that out.
That's smart.
We'll put that in the back.
Hi, welcome to another episode of People's Mic. I'll plug that in. Yeah. Introduce yourself while we're waiting. Oh shit. To the camera.
I'm Brendan Loerch. You can find me.
Fucked your name up the other day.
Oh, that was Steve.
Steve Gerard.
Yeah, Gerard. Yep. I heard someone say Loerch in the back, and I was like, "Is that Jimmy's voice?" I was like, "Holy shit!"
I disappeared. Like,
yeah, seriously.
I was like, "We need to get some respect."
That's right.
Get your stuff. Your hair's big today.
Yeah, I did.
Look at that. Did you wash it?
No,
last time I shampooed it was Saturday.
That's my I'm about to take edibles emoji. Just,
yeah, that's I wish.
Damn.
Name is Sadra, Azizi.
Yeah.
This is my real hair. So
That is your. Oh, now you ain't got nothing to say, right? You we was talking the whole time, and I'm just staring at the camera.
My hair wiggles like I'm a
You do. I was watching you on stage. You do have stalker eyes. Like, yeah, that's there.
For real?
You got. I want to look at your Facebook page for hours.
My face is endearing and like.
No, you do this. You do this wander where you. I was like, what is he doing?
I just stare into the audience.
Yeah.
I read people. Where do I go from
creepy
here?
as fuck. Huh?
It's not easy to do in this room.
No.
I think people don't like it, or me. I can't tell.
It's you're new, so they gotta get used to you. You come around a couple times.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how long have you been doing this open mic?
This mic will probably be for like a year-ish.
Oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
I would have guessed like 6.
Oh, 6 years?
Yeah.
No, only about a year. This mic I did other mics. Like I had a shit ton of mics at one point. I used to do a mic from 2 to 4, one from 4 to 6, and one from 6 to 8 every day.
Jesus.
And then I did shows at 10 to 12 and 12 to 2.
What motivates people to start an open mic and to run an open mic? Is there
just getting it's a different motivation for everybody, but if you want more stage time, I would say do a mic.
And networking, right?
And networking, especially if you're new to the city. Start a mic, and then people come. You start meeting people who are doing shows. You never
just
know.
Convince a bar to let you have one?
No, you go to a bar. There's the different ways to do it. To go to a mic, and if you go to a mic a couple of times, sometimes the person hosting it was like, "I don't want to do this anymore." But usually it happened to me 2 or 3 times. With people like that.
Have you been to the Grizzly Pair, the one at 5:00 today? The guy shows up like a third of the time, and it's just like random chaos.
If I really want the mic, I try to get it handed to me instead of somebody being like not showing up. Sometimes they won't show up, and they don't really want to do it. I'd be like, "Yo, can I have this mic?" If I wanted it, if it was a mic that I wanted, like trying to move out of doing mics.
But and why are some mics free? Some are $3, some are $5. Like
it's a lot of variables. It depends on the host, the bar. Sometimes the bar is just against people coming in and then just having a space, and then sometimes we got to charge you for that. We got to charge you for the drinks. They're still in business.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Some bars are like, "Hey, we just got this space. We're good at the bar. You want the space? Good." If it's a comic you're a terrible person. If it's a comic who's good with money, they don't give a shit, and they got a job. They be like, "Hey, I could just have a free mic." And if it's a comic who's, I say, if you're struggling in the city, you shouldn't kind of be doing a free mic. You know, it's kind of goofy. But you should find a way to flip it. You know, there's ways to flip it where it's not so much pressure on the comedians and not so much pressure on you.
Because they've been talking about those contest mics. And
those we used to do in Philly, and I like those.
I think that'd be something. Because then, if you pay $3 for your time, you might be more incentivized and feel okay with it. You know, you might win a portion of it back or something.
Either way, I used to
keeps people.
I used to do a park spot, so it was like some parks, some were free, and some were like in the middle where they couldn't pay the park spot fee, but they had a little bit, so they tossed it in.
Yeah.
I used to do that. Depends on the place. I got this mic from somebody else who had something in order already. So if you take somebody's mic, you kind of take their rules too.
Right.
So you got to be careful with that. Like they might have like a shitty agreement with the bar, you know, and then you got to do good shit and then be like, hey, can I negotiate? Renegotiate. And
are you making money on these mics, or is it just to break?
No, I make get by money with this, and I make
well, not just this mic, but open micers or open mic hosters in general. Are they?
Some do. So you can. If you're creative enough, you can flip a mic into whatever you want. You know, I had a mic and I flipped it to a podcast. You can flip a podcast. If you do a great podcast, there's people making $30,000 a month on a podcast. If you do it well, don't look at this shit. But if
$30,000 a month on a podcast,
there's people making millions on podcasts.
Well,
but
yeah,
if you're talking about on this level, they're making. If you do it right, get them monetized.
You can $2,500 a month doing anything.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, if it's done correctly, like that's the goal to make it. You know,
no, I just meant other open mics in general because some are charging, some aren't, and I guess
it's all the variables.
It's got to be competitive too. It's like all these different shows happening at the same time, like 3 at 5 o'clock, 3 at 6 o'clock. Like you can't go to all of them, so
no.
It's got to be
but
really competitive. Right?
There's a mic for everybody. Everybody has a fan base if you promote it correctly.
True.
Because there's so many hungry comedians who be like, hey, I can't get to that one, but I can get to this. And this comedian is like, hey, I need to do a mic every hour, and this fits my schedule. You know, you might be in the lane of the right comics. You know, it's just prepare. It's seeing where the traffic is. You go where the traffic is, you can't not fail. You know.
I want to start if I go back out fight fire, I want to start a podcast.
You should absolutely.
Like just like out on the line, like with the crew, like after like once a week or like a couple times a week, like when you finish your shift, just to like. Because some days you got a lot to say, and you're like, you don't have an outlet to say it.
No way to say it. Most people don't.
And I know a bunch of fucking other guys would listen to it from other crews, because then they would be like, yeah,
dude,
I want to fucking
there are hundreds of thousands of guys like Willie Zabar who just jerk off the firefighter shit. Like Willie, like if you just said, hey, firefighter, just said the word, Willie will come in and be like, did somebody say firefighter? You know, and he's not the only one. And he wants to see that shit. He wants
to get others to join with you. It's so hard to like get other people to get on a camera or get in front of a mic.
Yeah, well, I just know there'd be other dudes that would love to
seeing how other people do it. Like just getting started. People find you when you're doing something. People find whatever your interest is, and it's just getting started and letting that shit build by itself.
Yeah, I started a podcast. I mean, but it's been tough. I try to get my friends to join in on it, and they're just like,
you got to do it yourself.
Yeah,
you got to do it.
That's fun.
They're not going to join until they know it's hot.
No, even when it's hot, they don't care.
Really?
Yeah,
you got rich friends.
No, they're not rich.
Really?
They're all poor.
Fuck.
They just hate cameras and they hate media and they hate anything.
You got to find the ones that want it.
Yeah.
You know,
you
have one friend that's like, yo, I like this shit.
They don't.
There's not one?
Not one.
Fuck those friends.
Yeah,
you got to chuck them.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like they would rather do other things than have a conversation in front of a camera and a microphone. Like they would rather play video games or go out or whatever. So it's just like, it doesn't matter that, my audience is big. They just don't.
Wow.
They don't care.
Fuck. What do you do? What do you do with that? You got anything?
What do I do?
Yeah. Oh, you do.
I don't have this same problem. I feel like.
He's not even on social media.
All my friends are comedians, so if I started a podcast,
they'd all be on it.
They would all come
We
on.
heard you lost your bag.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone forever.
Fuck. Where'd you lose it at?
Guess what was in it?
Niagara.
What was in it?
Everything that I have ever written.
Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
Why? How is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, there was like.
Don't you just carry your one book and leave? What?
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh man, that's the universe saying you need to start over. That should level up.
Yeah,
I feel that's how when you get to a place, you lose your shit. Be like, no, start. You don't need any of this anymore.
I'm not too upset about it.
No?
I have to move on because it's gone forever. You know what I mean? And,
You don't remember where you lost it?
It was at Niagara, and somebody stole it while I was on stage.
What?
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's
Had
like
to be a
comedy
comic.
Illuminati going around stealing people's notebooks.
You must have killed.
I left it outside the room, I'll say that. But there was a bag on the ground, and I left it next to that other bag.
Uh-huh.
And then I went on stage, and then I came off, and my bag was gone, but that other bag was still there.
Do you write your names in your books?
No.
No, you gotta write your names in your
I
books.
put my name on it.
There's no name, none of your name and none of your shit in your bag. You're goofy.
Well, they might bring it back to the bar.
You're goofy. Yeah, they're gonna. You'll get that back. If it was at the bar, I'm confident.
I gave the bar my number.
Yeah,
I haven't got a call.
like if it was just in the street on a train and was like, probably, but.
Does it feel kind of good to be free? Like the stuff
The
that
bag?
you like and you do a lot, it's in your head, I assume.
Yes.
But the shit all that garbage you wrote.
My problem with it is that I kind of feel like it's all about the portfolio. You know what I mean? It's all about like your life's work or
Body
whatever.
work.
Yeah. And now that first 3 years it's gone. You know.
That's crazy that you kept all that on you. That's
Yeah. Well,
I only keep like one book at a time. Like I transfer book to book, so I only keep like I don't know. And then I have like a box where I toss them all, and then I go check them in, check back.
I would hate to carry around something physical, so I just write it on my phone. It's always in the cloud.
Here's what wealth is. Here's
not
what
wealth.
wealth is. This is wealth. And the poorer you are, the bigger your bag is in the city.
Yeah.
I see people walk around with no bags, and I'm like, how much money do you have?
But what do you need
Fucking
in the bag?
nerve.
What do you need in the bag?
what the fuck do you need it,
Dude, I need shit in case the apocalypse comes at 3 o'clock. I can
I'm
survive.
a bag guy.
I'm a bag.
I've been slimming down.
I'm a survivor. You know how much shit people I've saved with my bag? They were like, "Hey, does anybody have a badoop-a-doop?" I'm like,
Banana.
"Bing, I got it. What? If I die and all this goes to shit, all you need is my bag. You're good for like 3 months. I got,
Pockets.
Yeah, I
Pockets.
put stuff in my
You ain't
pocket.
surviving in pockets. You ain't surviving in pockets. First of all, if you meet a girl who needs an iPhone charger and you have a Samsung phone, boom, you're not getting that number. Pockets. I got an iPhone charger. I got the
You got Samsung charger too?
yeah.
Wow.
I collect chargers from
I heard that.
like people leave shit. Yeah. I'm a doomsday prepper hoarder. So I'm like, I might need this in case something happens. I'm that guy in a crazy.
How good are you at shooting?
I got a dizzy aim. I haven't shot anything in a minute. My aim is
Yeah.
pretty. I want to get better at knife throwing.
I've done combat knife throwing. Yeah.
I want to be.
It's
that
like
guy.
there's no rotation.
Once in my life, I want to be able to dodge a bullet and throw a knife. Just once. I want
You should
somebody
be
to be
able
like,
to shoot.
pow,
You
and go, fuck,
That's
and just
like,
catch him in the throat.
You should
Like,
say
I
dodge
won.
a knife, shoot a gun. That's
Dodge a
more.
knife?
I feel like that's more
Dodge-
reasonable. Like dodge a knife.
I want to. I want him. I want to.
Badass.
That's badass.
Are you kidding me? Dodging a knife? Can you shoot somebody?
So if somebody's point blank and goes,
Badass is dodging a bullet.
what?
That's unrealistic.
But it's
No, it's not
You
unrealistic.
tried
I've
to
seen it done.
You try to dodge a bullet.
Dodge
you're
a,
gonna get
well,
shot.
I'm gonna get shot in the face. I said I would like before I.
Unless you saw the dude like squeezing the trigger and you moved that, I guess you could.
You
consider
could.
that.
They teach you how
That's
to.
called missing a bullet, not
it's
dodging.
the same shit. When you see somebody miss a bullet, like that motherfucker dodged a bullet.
I guess it is. Yeah, it's common sense.
Right? It's just being faster. That's all.
Bullet.
Dodge it. Steve, shut up. The fuck up.
That's
I don't like in movies when they block the bullet with the sword. I don't like that shit.
You don't like that?
Like
Yeah.
they see it coming and they got time.
Ping and cut the bullet in
well,
half.
even the ricochet would
Piece
probably
of
hit
fuck-
you in like
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
You
That's
just
it.
buy one of those VR Oculus things and do it in there.
And practice. I want to be. I want.
You gotta-
I want cute girls to be like, yo, he's dodging bullets.
they have sim rounds.
That's all.
They,
Right?
they make simulation rounds that shoot and go the same speed as
I did
real
that.
bullets, and you can put them into your real gun and you can practice with those for dodging bullets.
What?
Sim rounds.
What the fuck is that?
It's a little paintball round that you put in
like
your
a
real
paintball,
gun.
okay.
But it's like it's a real clip goes in your real
I
gun.
would just be shooting myself in the face all day. I'm like, oh, let's do it again.
Yeah, well, you
Wow.
know, you got to train.
What if I did that in the gym? Like,
all right, man, I got this same gun. Just
dodge the bullet. Just shoot it
right
at
my chest. I'm gonna dodge it.
Gotta wait till all the girls arrive first.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad to get hit with those things too.
God damn. Oh my god. What else were you talking about earlier?
We were
I got that. Doug's bag.
Doug's bag. There's something else. Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, your bit. Daddy.
The dad. I wouldn't take new bits to shitty rooms, and I'm like, I was so excited because it's a real thing that happened. Because I was.
What's the music on? I like this.
I was training an unattractive client, and at the end of the session, it was like, she's younger. She's like half my age. So it was like, yeah, we're flirting a little and we're working out. But then as she's leaving, she says goodbye. And then she's like, see you next week. And then I'm like, all right, bye, kiddo. I'm like, fuck. Because I put myself in the box. And I was like, you can't get out of that. Because
you're never going to fuck a girl you call kiddo.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the success rate with a trainer fucking the trainee?
It depends on the client a lot. I mean,
and not just you either. Other personal trainers
huge,
you know? Like,
huge.
Really?
A lot, yeah.
Is it usually a certain
so a lot of times,
like
a lot of guys don't know how not to fuck up their money. You know, it's not they force themselves on the client, which you never do.
Right.
Yeah. If you're single, they're single. She says, hey, you want to go do that? Then fine. That's your option.
Or you get invited outside of the gym.
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of times.
Yeah. I gotta get into a better job.
I usually won't stop dating them until, like, if I move gyms or we're not training anymore, she's not my client. Like, that's because it's no matter how much you don't want it to get weird. It gets
Do you train
weird.
all chicks?
Of course.
No, I train all types of people. I train
all types of people.
Everybody. I train. I got old Jews. I got
That's
older. Most of them are older black women. Asians, Indians.
No Spanish people.
Yeah, I got a Spanish guy.
A Spaniard?
A Spanish guy. I got a guy from Swaziland. He's cool as shit.
Swaziland?
Yeah, Swaziland is Africa.
That's a real country?
That's a real place.
Holy shit.
Real place. He's cool as shit. He sounds like Trevor Noah. And he looks Dominican. Looks like everybody thinks he's Dominican. But I train all types of people. It's I don't look for like a race. I look for the attitude of the eyes. I don't care.
Hunger.
Yeah. I don't like. Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite thing to do.
Oh man, you
people. I think I'm gonna be here. Nah, out. I'm out.
Why does it matter to you though?
Because you're gonna waste my time. You're gonna waste my time, and if you don't, if you're not gonna show up consistently, you're not gonna get results, and it makes me look bad. You know.
Yeah, you wanna curate a good.
Yeah, I don't care if they're with the way what
Cancer
their disability is. If their attitude is there, they're gonna show up. You know.
Yeah,
they do.
Makes sense.
You know, and yours the opposite. You need bad attitudes. Like, I'm not going to take care of any of this.
You need someone who's full of shit.
Yeah. Full of shit. Puns.
I mean, it's tough sometimes because like you'll get. I've been trying to work this into a bit, but I don't know how to do it. And the true story is that I had a guy, alcoholic, who. Long story short, if your liver goes to shit, you start to develop these veins, kind of like varicose veins, but in your esophagus.
What?
They're called varices. And if those things, because what happens is you get all the scar tissue in your liver, and then all the blood flow has a hard time going through there. So the back pressure builds up, and then it balloons out these veins up here. And if they
back pressure
burst, because everything's trying to flow through the liver, but if it can't go through normal tissue and it's going through scar tissue, it's much harder. So the pressure builds. These veins balloon out. If they burst, there's a 30 to 50% chance of death from those bleeds. So I had a guy come in. He vomited 2 liters of pure blood. They said his hemoglobin count was 3. Normal count is 14. His was 3. They ship him all the way from Vermont, and then
ship him.
They ship him he's finished. Put him in a box.
DHL.
This is your last
charge for that.
Amazon. That's the sad part. That's what I was getting at. Is all this money to get him there, and then I was on call that weekend, so of course I had to do it. I go down there and I have to rubber band the bleeding vessel, so it clots it off. Now I see the guy like a month or two later so I literally saved his life. See him in the office about a month later. He's still drinking. His fiance's with him. He can't like get him to stop. And then of course another month later he comes back with the same problem, and then another month later he dies.
Yeah, he dies. Yeah,
I'm just like, I almost feel like I should be a sponsor for Anheuser-Busch. Like I keep these guys going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
I don't know how to work it into.
You got to tell that. Yeah, fuck it.
So I got to find a punchline.
You make that funny. Yeah, shit.
My idea was to like come up with, those 36 racks of Coors.
Yeah.
So you take them and you put like some duds in there, like some like placebo cans.
Placebo cans?
Like cans that are like filled but not with alcohol.
With water?
Something.
Bars do that though.
Or like non-alcoholic beer.
Don't they water down their drinks?
And then if the guy gets drunk enough off the like first 20, then the ones in the back, you won't even notice. They'll slow him down. But
I don't like it. It's tricky.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be a joke, but it's not funny.
Yeah, people get.
He's like,
I'd be mad if I got home from a rough
like, that's not the result I was trying to get from that.
I drank it and I was like, I'm not fucking drunk.
So that's the other thing. The other component to the joke was if I turned it into like, you remember how back in the day there was icing where you put a spoon of ice in a weird location?
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Fuck, I'm gonna ice you tomorrow.
I actually got recently iced. It was hilarious. But no, my thought was if you had one of those dud cans for younger guys that would notice, it would be like a bunch of frat guys. Because who drinks those 30 racks of Coors? Frat guys and alcoholics. Right?
My dad.
Yeah. So no offense, I don't know if he's an alcoholic or not. That was
He's
part
a
of the-
farmer.
What do you call it? Placebos.
Oh,
shit. Isn't that like non-alcoholic?
Also like Dud Light.
Is that O'Doul's?
Budweiser or whatever.
Isn't that same as O'Doul's? Isn't that like a
O'Doul's, yeah.
O'Doul's?
So I don't know if that would be a thing, but
It's like a placebo, right? If you didn't tell them, it sounds like a beer, right?
Yeah.
O'Doul's.
It tastes like beer though.
I've never had it.
I've never had one. Yeah,
I was like, why would you get this? This is just juice. This is like barley juice.
I've had Bud NA. That was pretty bad.
What happened to you? Did you save somebody's life the other day?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that transition? I was
Yeah.
like, I know where I'm going.
We were talking about that the other day though, like how like if somebody like fell into the train tracks, like would you pull them out or like?
Yeah. I
like,
wait for that day. I'm on a swivel when I'm in
and
the
it's
train.
like
what?
Like would the Good Samaritan thing? Like, are you gonna help somebody?
What'd you do?
Well, I was smoking a joint, and I basically saw this dude collapse and like on the next block, and some lady like jumped on him frantically, and it looked like she was giving him CPR.
She's trying to tongue him down.
Well, yeah, and so I was like kind of like looking. I was like, "What's happening down there?" And I wasn't quite sure, so I kept walking, kept smoking, and then as I got close enough, I was like, "Oh fuck, that's like a person!" So I threw my joint and like started sprinting. And I like throw my fucking jacket off, and I like slide, like baseball slide up to this fucking guy because this lady's like on the phone, like, "I don't know where I am. This motherfucker's like dying right now. Get the fuck!" She's like on the phone with 911, and I'm like, "We're on Putnam and Patchen," and she's like. And she's like freaking out, and then another lady comes running up, and then an old
dude.
Take
it from her. She's
an old dude. Well, I can't. Well, I was like, if I take the phone from him, I'm gonna be tied up on 911. I can't do that. Like that's her job. And some other lady came up, and I was like, calm this lady down, keep her on 911. And an old man ran up and was like, roll him onto his side so he doesn't choke on his tongue. And I was like, that was the one thing I forgot. Yeah. Thank God somebody was there for that. Yeah. But he was seizing out, and then he fucking hit the ground so hard that he smashed the back of his head open.
Bleeding?
Dude, the pool of blood was mad. Like it was like when I got there, the pool of blood was like this, and then it just kept getting bigger. And he was like out of consciousness, and then he was snapping into it from the seizure. And then when he finished seizing, he went in the. When he finished seizing, he came to like quick consciousness, felt the pain from his head, and immediately went to grab his head, and then he noticed he was bleeding. Yeah. And the whole time, I'm just like holding him down while the other guy's trying to put positive pressure to stop the bleeding and to like control his head so he doesn't hit the ground anymore. And I'm just like holding his hand, and he's like squeezing my hand, and he's like fucking dying. And I'm just like, dude, like stay alive, motherfucker. Like don't die. Like the ambulance is coming. But I'm telling him, you're doing a great job, man.
Did you?
I was like calling him neighbor, and I was like, you're doing a good job. Like just like trying to like calm him down and shit. And then he's like fading out, and then he's faded out for a second, like deep, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then my shakes weren't waking him up, so I just fucking started slapping him in his face, dude.
Slapping him? You don't slap him.
Sometimes
You have to.
Really?
That's like if someone's unconscious, to smack in the face, knocks you into...
Don't you give him CPR? Not CPR. The chest compressions? No?
That's if they stop breathing.
There's a thing called post-ictal state. So after a seizure, you will pass out sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think he had so much brain trauma that I was more worried about him passing out from the brain trauma than the seizure. So in my head, I was like, keep him... I don't have the best medical knowledge, but I was like, there's so much blood. Him passing out is the worst thing I think that can happen. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, in my mind, got him in the rescue position, made sure he didn't choke, made sure he didn't fucking slam his head down. We couldn't control the bleeding.
Head. He's finished. Fuck.
Huh?
So what happened? They just whisked him away?
Yeah, as soon as the ambo came up, I was they brought the meat wagon. I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
It was crazy though, because I've done that. An old lady that happened to me, she just got done voting for Hillary Clinton. She's like, you should go vote. She's
happy.
She's like, I was sitting on my feet. I was smoking weed again. I was like sitting on the stoop smoking a blunt, and she's like, have you voted?
Coming to get?
She's like, have you voted?
They watch.
Oh shit! On camera, dog.
Yeah, what are you doing? Doing?
And this lady face planted so hard. She didn't bleed as much though.
Really?
Yeah, like this lady, this Clinton voter, she face planted. Her dog pulled her away because it was going to attack a runner, and I was like, how progressive. And she like face planted so hard right into the ground. Wow. She didn't bleed nearly like an eighth as much as this dude.
My dream is to you ever when the train's coming in and somebody falls on the track, I want to be able to jump on the train and pick them up one-handed from the track.
Yeah.
Like as the train's coming, be like, yeah, scoop them up. But then my also fear is like I'm gonna miss.
Your bicep will tear.
Yeah, like my arm rips back. Was like it was like I'm feeling like 125. I could do. I could do 125 with all.
Jump in front of the 8 yesterday?
Every day.
Stop down.
It's a Sunday. It's like
they like stop. They stop both tracks going both ways.
You can tell the conductor who has hit somebody by the conductors who haven't.
Yeah, the ones that wave back to you.
No, the ones that speed through, they haven't hit anybody yet. But the ones that come in slow and they honk when there's nobody in the subway, they've smacked it. They've seen some shit. They were like they're fucking ruined.
See, in my head, I thought it was the ones that just
they don't want to say hi. The blazing one's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm new to the job. I'm so happy. Let them hit one person. It's like
crawling in.
He's like, why is he taking so long? Oh, he's just smashed somebody.
Get his head out.
Yeah,
that's because yeah.
That shit ruins people.
It's like the toddler.
In the New Jersey path, this guy was like, I got on a train. I usually ride the front, right? And he was like, he came in. He was like, oh man, they just had what they do is when they hit somebody and they want to clear the tracks, they put them in the break room. And then sometimes they don't tell whoever's coming on shift that there's a body in the break room. And he was like, yeah, they keep doing this. They never tell me. He was like, I hate when they do that. I was like, that's your every day?
That's awful. When I was in the Coast Guard, they used to put crabs in our sleeping bag. Fuck. That's way worse.
Why don't they just put like a plastic shield and just slits at the opening of the trains? Is that a possibility?
Plastic shield?
Like, you know how it's just wide open track? When there's no train there, it's just
wide
open
track. They do that in Europe.
I figured somewhere does it, so why not just put like this long glass?
We have too much pride.
They dumb. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we don't need those people. If you get hit by a train,
this is America. If I want to jump in front of that goddamn train, ruin everybody's day. I'm gonna ruin everybody's day.
They should change the name of the break room to like the dead body.
Yeah, they should change the morgue.
The morgue.
Just change the sign.
I say this is how New York I am. You know how slippery the platforms were the other day?
Yeah.
People run for the train. Like 4 of us fell. Like three people fell. I do deadlift, so I slid in like a fucking G. And this one lady, I slid in, jumped on the train. This one lady, she stayed down. She was hurt. She started crying, and everybody's like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? Help her up!" So I just grabbed her. I was like, "I don't care to check you." I was like, "What hurt?" She was like, "My left ankle." She's crying. I was like, "All right, we don't have time for this." I put her in the chair, and then the train wouldn't stop. They wouldn't leave. So she was like, "Hey, we got to call for help." And then I was like, "All right, we're gonna put her off the train. So I just picked her up, and put her off the train. Went to the conductor, got help. She was like, "Yo, just what she's wearing. She's over there by the edge of the steps,
just crying.
you hear her crying. She's like, ah! And then I got on the train. I didn't even go back to check on her, and the train pulled off. I was like, that was.
You're like a superhero.
I am. I saved the people.
Yeah, keep
I saved her a little bit, but it's about the train.
I don't know. Have you noticed like if there's like an injury or someone's hurt or like and there's like blood present mostly, but like if you kind of act like.
Yeah, if blood is present, I'm out.
Well, like if you kind of like act like
a
little annoyed, it like de-escalates the situation. Like if do you ever act slightly annoyed when your patients are a little hysterical or?
I wouldn't say annoyed. I would say I treat them all the same, which is just like a deadpan. This is what we're gonna do.
Really?
This is the next step. This is the next.
See, like
I wish you used like impressions. Your face says you have impressions.
I do. I just.
Like, what is wrong with your butthole? Just sound effects.
I do need to work.
Just picture you rising up from like a butthole, and you know, like.
There's no way. There's no way you can't make a sound as you put your finger in somebody's ass.
At home, I make all types of sounds. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. This is why I come back to this mic just to get comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable yet.
Yeah, get angry.
You should see me at home, man. I'm just a wild animal.
Yeah. Tape that shit. I'm a wild animal.
Keep that there.
So wild animals. Fuck.
It's like my release from work. Is at work, I'm just like straight up professional. No one at work believes I have a social life or like that I can talk.
Yeah.
And then people outside of work are like, "You're really a doctor?" It's just like this crazy.
That's good.
Split personality type of thing. Yeah.
Do people say?
I
Do
can
you
hear
tell
you
your
guys
patients
talk.
you're a comedian?
What'd you say?
Do you tell your patients you do comedy?
No. But they've started to find out. Like Iowa's a small place, so I'll get not the patients, but like the other doctors. They'll call me for consults, and they're like, "Hey, so heard you're doing comedy," or "Hey, I heard about your YouTube channel," or whatever. So word gets out pretty quick.
Huge.
Yeah.
Nice.
It kind of sucks, but
how long are you here for?
I leave Sunday for 2 weeks.
That's yesterday.
For 2 weeks. What?
Do you have someone taking care of your apartment while you're gone?
The penthouse. He's going to stay in the penthouse.
I like that shit.
I was gonna say, do you need someone
They
to
get a
chill in
comic
your place?
all of us.
I can water your plants.
Everybody has a job.
Everyone offers, and then no one follows through. It's like,
What? This whole mic will follow through.
I should host a party there.
You should, absolutely.
Yeah, would you guys come?
Oh, hell yeah. Not with these monsters.
I would love to, actually. You think that would work?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Comedy show?
What?
Would that work?
Is there a view?
Fine work.
Oh,
Define work. Will 100 comics show up? Yes. Food?
We're all
Yes.
booked. We're fine. Yeah.
We're all booked. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Where can I
Let me
host?
You can find me here right at Autos at least once a week. I don't have anything yet.
Good,
So.
good.
I'm on Facebook, but I don't really use that.
You get your website domain yet?
No, I
You got
haven't.
Instagram yet? No.
No, I'm not going to do Instagram. I'm just going to do a website and a burner phone.
What kind of drug dealer? A burner phone?
Yeah, that way people can get.
Find me on a burner phone. What?
Yeah,
Your Obama phone?
Just give me. Just
Do they still have
hit me
Obama
up.
phones, even though it's not
This is
Obama?
London stuff, yeah.
Huh? Who? This? Wow.
No, I do.
I feel like you're not good enough to be that great. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a comedian.
How dare you?
No disrespect.
How dare you?
You gotta be good.
You're not gonna. I'm not gonna give you my
bad.
number. You're gonna regret
What can
that
they
one
find?
day.
you can find me in my Midtown penthouse. No.
Yeah.
You can find me on YouTube and Instagram, Dr. Souls11, SOLES, like the shoe.
Nice.
Not like the insoles.
That's your website?
No, that's just I don't have a website.
Fuck.
I don't know what I need a website for.
What?
What do I need a
Dude, have
website
you been to Jimmy's website?
for? Yeah. It's a good website.
That's
but
what you
like,
need.
It's okay.
Well, you do all the
I bought
shit
it.
I
I
don't
just.
do.
Yeah.
I don't have merch. I don't have like
Free mics for life.
you know, and I get plenty of work
I'll
as
take
a
that.
doctor. I don't need a website.
You should at least have your name. You hold your name.
Oh.
Oh, just as like a
Yeah.
placeholder.
Yeah.
Hey, do you need a bellman job?
Yeah.
11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
All right, we're not doing this now. Oh, the fuck? You need a. Anybody else got bullshit to announce? You need a. All right,
Blue
kill
Hill-
yourselves. 500%. Shut the fuck up. Give it up for them one more time. It's another episode of People's Mic. You can find it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, JimPeoples.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, J Peoples TV. We're here every day, Monday to Friday. The podcast, 2:15, followed by the open mic at the world famous Otto Shrunken Head every day, Monday to Friday, 3 o'clock. So come join us, come hang out. You can also find us on Alexa. So this is episode 277. Shit.
Nice.
Cool. Give it up for them. Thank you.